Made for each other. How often have we heard that? In this video, we will discover what it takes to become made for each other. Hey folks, I am CSK, your personal coach, and you're watching me on the CSK Speaks channel. Welcome. How often have we heard this line, made for each other? And sometimes we wonder, are we really qualifying to be in that category with our partners? To understand the true meaning of made for each other, we need to travel back 100 years. Yes. This is an incident from January 1921, and this belongs to the lives of Josephine Dixon and Earl Dixon. Now, what is so special about their life? They are like you and me, ordinary people doing ordinary jobs and living an ordinary life. But that ordinary life brought out an extraordinary relationship. Now, let's dive deep into their lives. Earl was a businessman working in a pharmaceutical company, and he was looking at procuring cotton for a pharma company. His wife Josephine was a homemaker, but they had a problem. They had an issue, and that was Josephine always used to get into panic mode. And when she got into panic mode for slight little silly things at home, she used to get into some kind of a physical trouble. What is that? She used to get some small cuts and small scratches, and she used to hurt herself, and every single time she used to get that, she used to immediately pick up the phone, call Earl and ask him to get back home. Now this was getting too much. In fact, there was a joke going around in Earl's workplace. If he is rushing out, that means his wife has actually hurt herself, so Earl is there to take care of her. Now this went on, and Earl tried to talk it out and say Josephine that she has to be a little more calm, she has to be more composed, and she cannot panic so often. But old habits die hard. She was always in that mode. So Earl decided that enough is enough, let me get a solution for this. And as I said, Earl was in the business of procuring cotton, and he had some idea about pharma companies. So he knew that one of the pharma companies was manufacturing a sticky tape. So he used his idea. He said, okay, let me do this. On an average, my wife gets hurt at least 6 to 7 times in a week. That's almost once a day. So he took a wooden plank and he got that tape from that pharma company, and then he stuck that tape onto the wooden plank, and then he brought that cotton which he was trading in and put it in the center of it, and then he told his wife Josephine that any other time, next time you get hurt, take a little bit of this ointment, the medicine, and apply it on this particular piece of cotton, and then roll the tape around your wound. Earlier, what Josephine used to do was she used to take a piece of fabric and roll it across. And remember, this is 1921. So these were the days where antibiotics or antiseptics were still not so popular. In fact, it was not even available. So Earl told Josephine that do this so that you don't have to call me and you don't have to panic, and you will be taken care of, and rest, you can live your life comfortably when I'm away. The next morning, as usual, Josephine gets hurt, but instead of taking the tape and rolling it around that wound, she picks up the phone and calls Earl. Earl is now furious. He comes home running and he says, I told you that you don't have to call me. I told you what you have to do. Now what happened? Josephine is sitting there weeping and just pointing her fingers at that wooden plank. You know what she had done? Out of panic, she pulled out that tape a little too strongly, and the wooden plank came down falling, and as a result, all those tapes which were stuck to the wooden plank stuck to each other, and got entangled and became a ball. Earl was furious, but at the same time, he was empathetic. He understood that this was a practical issue and this had nothing to do with Josephine's panic. So, what Earl did next, he took out the same tapes, created yet another series of 18 inches by 3 inches pieces, kept the cotton in the center, but this time he covered the edges with a polythene, a plastic. Now, the next time when Earl and Josephine had a problem, the tapes never got entangled. Now everything was fine, it was going smooth now, and Josephine was happy that she had a solution. Earl was happy that he did not have to go back home, and out of pride, he goes and in the cafeteria to his colleagues and friends, he shares this accomplishment. Listening to this entire thing, the pharma company scientist who was sitting there at the cafeteria comes to Earl and asks him to explain the entire thing one more time. And when he heard this, the scientist gets an idea. And that idea is what we know today as Band-Aid. The origin of Band-Aid was done in January 1921. Now, I am not here to tell you the relevance, the use of Band-Aid, we all know this. But I am here to stress upon the point that what led to the creation of Band-Aid. I think that is where the message is for you and me. Remember, made for each other. What does it take to become made for each other? If you look at it deeply, the answer lies in that unconditional love. The love which Earl had for Josephine in spite of her imperfections. Now, he had many options of ignoring, avoiding, or even physically hurting Josephine for that reckless behavior. But he did not do that. He looked at the available options and said, what can I do for her so that she does not need me next time she is in trouble, and in fact, she doesn't even get into trouble. I think, friends, the message is loud and clear. Stick together so that you can become made for each other. In this case, metaphorically speaking as well, he discovered a sticky tape, Band-Aid, but the message is stick together so that you can be made for each other. Thank you very much for watching CSK Speaks, and like and share this video. If you want to spread the word, you can even comment so that others can learn and then start viewing those videos.